Hey y'all, it's 3 is a magic number, back again with another video. And in this one I just wanted to explore the differences between the 1320 dream spell calendar, also may have it also may go under the name of 13 moon calendar, and the Tzolkin, which is the traditional Mayan astrology calendar. Okay. So jumping into the 1320 dream spell, today the 15th of December is said to be the day of the red dragon. Now, honestly, this is following a different sequence of days, and I kind of spoke about it in another video. A lot of people, when they look for Maya astrology, most sites that are on Google will point people towards the dream spell system, which has um, a false sequence of days, and the whole system is based on something that is modernized and like a reinterpretation of something that's traditional that was not broken or did not need to be reinterpreted. Because the Maya elders say that they are displeased with this whole new false calendar that is out there and that is standing in place or boasting itself to be the Maya calendar when it is not the true Maya calendar. So here we have the the day of Red Dragon, and it's the first day of the Trikana, or in this situation, the Way spell of the Red Dragon as well. Now, this is according to the Dream Spell Calendar, and I'm going to show you how when I go into the Tzolkin app, which is the True Maya astrology, how it's different. So the Tzolkin says that today is the day of Chib, which is the day of the warrior or the owl day sign, and it's the eighth day of the water Trikana, which is Muluk. And I think it's the Quiche language. I'm not sure. I get it confused between Quiche and Yucatan or Yucatec, but the traditional word that you may find is Muluk, and it's meant to stand for water, the sign of water, or sometimes called moon. But let's go with water. Okay, so off the bat, what's different is the day. Okay, it's day number 8 of the water Trikana, whereas here it said is day number 1 of the red dragon Trikana. Red dragon, you may also call it the crocodile sign. That's another name for it, or the more original name for it, you could say, in the Maya system. But off the bat, you get a whole different, result when you look up your day sign, and that's quite unfortunate. And it's leading people astray in a way. Know what I mean? So you go over here. We can go. Let me see if I can go into the quote unquote tree of life. Okay. It's actually, let me go to this site called mymayansign.com. Give me a second. Let me go to mymayansign.com. Alright, so today is the 15th of December. Let's just show them my Mayan sign report. This sign, by the way, gives you the accurate day sign and Trikana sign based on the traditional Maya calendar. The Trikana sign is, in the dream spell system, they call it the way spell. That's their form or version of that. But it basically piggybacks and copies this, and it's basically fronting to be this when it's not. And over here in the Mindster system, you have what is called the Tree of Life, and I'll go into explaining how to read your Tree of Life. I have done this in my other video called Basics of Maya Astrology. You can check that out. I'll link it below. But this is basically a Tree of Life. The first 3 signs at the top represent your childhood stage. The signs in the middle represent your adult stage, and the signs at the very bottom are representative of your mature or elder stage. These kind of kick in when you're around 52 years old. Okay, so the day sign of today is Owl. All right, you see that off the bat. And the signs that are on the left-hand side of the screen are actually your right-hand powers or your masculine signs throughout the different stages of your life. So wind would be the masculine sign for the childhood stage. Dog would be the masculine or right-hand power for the adult stage. And knife would be the main right-hand power or masculine sign for the elder mature stage. Um, And you can also look at the ones on the other side where you got Jaguar, Wind, and Dog. These are your left hand powers or the feminine signs. And the one in the childhood stage is Jaguar, the one in the adult stage is Wind, and the one in the mature or elderly stage is Dog. You know, so this kind of exposes how, on the feminine sign aspect, these are, how you are oriented within your inner circles, intimate relationships, family, close friends. That's how, you relate to them, or how you relate to your own emotionality. The ones on the right hand powers or the masculine signs, these deal with, how you orient yourselves in your career, business, how you assert yourself in the world, in a more, uh, this is basically how you get busy, if I can put it that way. Or people who don't know much about you, this is what they may pick up about you, okay? Or how you like to show yourself to the world externally, in a sense. If y'all kind of catching up to what I'm trying to say about the masculine sign placements and what they mean. But this is a lot of information. This does provide you with a lot of information about, let's say your spiritual human configuration, so to speak, and the themes of your life throughout the different stages of your life. The one that is the most important one is the day sign, which is the owl. This definitely will be heavy. And I know this video is supposed to be about, exploring the differences between both these two different systems, the true system and I would say the false system. But coming down to this tree of life, I'm just, I get into this mode where I feel like I want to explain these different things and just dive into, decoding this and interpreting it, breaking it down. Also because a lot of people don't know much about the tree of life when it comes to traditional Maya system. And I just wanted to bring light to that. Okay. Also very interesting. You can look at the sign for the 21st of December, and it's the day sign is when Trikana, when galactic tone 1. So when is a sign of, creativity, expression, expressing oneself, voice change, stuff like that. It's also related to the god Tezcatlipoca, I believe. Themes about the he's also known as the heart of the sky or hurricane or huracan, you know. So, who knows what's gonna happen on this day. Uh if you're watching on the video, you may see it after the 21st of December because, I don't get too many hits on my channel, but I'm just gonna keep it here. Now let's go to the 1320 calendar, which has the wrong date. You can even look at, okay, what does it say for December 21st? And it's giving us the day of, is this deer? Because I think this is the sign for, yeah, this is a sign for deer, or the other word for it is hand. So, and the day for it is 7. I think you can see it at the top right corner right there. So it's the 7th day of the crocodile or red dragon wave spell, which is a Trikana in this system. A wave spell Trikana is basically a 13-day week. I do kind of have to keep bringing these things up as a reminder because these terminologies and the way that this system is meant to be looked at is still new for a lot of people. So I it's a bit tricky to talk about this. I do have to repeat myself a bit. I mean, and yeah, so that's what's up. So this is completely, and when you look at it, it's going to give you a completely different way to look at yourself. Because you will go through life thinking that you are a deer sign. Let's say if you're born on the 21st of December this year, you're going to think that you are a deer sign. Now, if you also notice, this system does not have a tree of life. What it does have is 4 other signs around you, and these don't stand at all for, let's say, your masculine power, feminine power, youth or childhood or conception sign, or let's say the elder or future or child or future child sign, let's say, because sometimes the elder sign or the mature sign represents the sign of the child that you may have as well. It can be that way too, but it doesn't have any of that. What it does have is something called There's four things. It has the occult, antipode, analog, and guide signs, or kins, so to speak. I think kin is the meaning is the Mayan or Yucatec or whatever word for day. So that's how they kind of use it. Yeah, there's a bit of a mix of terminologies here and there. So bear with it, but I'm gonna try to make this simple for you guys. Yeah, so they have something called a guide sign, which is kind of like how can I explain this properly? Well, I suppose it's somewhat self-explanatory. Let me come back to that one later if I need to go over it again. Antipode is the sign that is most opposite to uh, your day sign, and that's the only one that kind of makes sense because it could somewhat represent the challenges of a person's particular day sign if they look at the most opposing sign to them. You know what I mean? It could bring some insights. But yeah, that's the antipode sign. It's the most opposite sign to the day sign. The occult sign. Now this has to do with let me not pretend to know how to explain it because I read it one time and it was just so hard to apply. To be honest, I just found it very hard to apply. The analog sign is one that is like your bestie, and the guide sign that's the one that kind of like guides you, or it's an energy that support. It's very, how do I put it? It's not grounded in information because it's not based on the real system. If that makes sense, it's not very grounded information. It's really hard to find ways to how do you practically apply it within your makeup. Plus, on top of that, they don't even have the right sign for you. They switched up the whole calendar and made up something entirely made up. Let's put it that way. Now this is for December 21st. Let's go back to Safari. So the sign for December 21st, the true one is actually wind. Know what I mean? And if you go to the tree of life, the childhood sign for this one is Jaguar. Hold on, this is really interesting because there's one thing I wanted to look at. Okay, one thing I wanted to look. Is this for December 21st? Yes, that is. Let me look up another date. Let me look up today's date, December 15th. Okay, this is a bit easier. December 21st is kind of tripping me out a little bit. Okay, so coming back to today's date, the sign that they have for you is crocodile or red dragon. Now I'm going to show you how, if you go back to the real calendar, where you might find what's that? Where you might find the crocodile sign in the tree of life. Okay, so the day sign is owl. Actually, you know what? It's just off. There used to be somewhat of a correlation because I was able to sense that the what you call it. Oh, okay. I think I know what's up. Because I was used to be able to see that the day sign on the Dreamspell system used to coincide with the childhood sign in the Maya system. So if today was owl, you will be able to see that in the Maya system, then the Dreamspell will say that your day sign was rabbit, which is your childhood sign, and that's how I assumed there was some sort of correlation to it. But now, looking at these calendars, I don't see any correlation at all. And I think that has to do with the fact that the calendar kind of it has an issue with skipping days or the system just whack. But let me show you guys what I'm actually talking about. Let me go far back in the past. Let's say let me go to a date I may be more acquainted with. Let me go to 1990. This is not my birthday, but I just know this one. Let's go to April 21st, 1993. Fuck that. Let me move it 22nd. Do I know what that 24th? Okay, it's just the symbology of it is a bit trippy for me. Okay, April 25th, 1993. Let's stick with that one. Okay, so this is the day of the yellow. No, that's the waste spell. So that's the week of yellow sun or the sign of ancestors or light. and the day sign is Road or Cosmic Human. That's the day sign. Did I say Cosmic Human? Yeah, I just read it off the top. You know, so it's the 13th day of the yellow sun week, and the day sign for this particular date, April 25th, 1993, based on the Dreamspell Calendar, is Road, or the sign of the human. Now let's punch in the same date on the website and see what we get. But let me just go here to this app. Okay, let's go to April 25th. Actually, to get what I'm looking for, I may have to go on the website. Okay, I may have to go on the website. So this is weird. This is a light sign, Rabbit Tricana. Let me go on this website real quick. Keep recording that. Don't stop. I want to show you guys what I'm actually talking about. 1993. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Okay, light sign. Now we're back on the tree of life. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Road sign is back here again. You can see that over here. Road sign. That's the childhood sign. Okay, this is what I noticed when doing my research. That when you go back to the 1990s type dates, 1994, 1993, the day sign on the Dreamspell system is basically the childhood sign and the Maya system. And what I got out of it was that on one hand, you're not really, if you think that the sign of Road or human is a sign that you kind of have to go with, or it's your day sign and you kind of like base your life around that, it's pretty much going to stagnate your growth and your, let's say, evolution in the childhood energy, and not advance through your adult sign or your true sign, which is light, and your future sign, which is rabbit, because the theme of the energy of the rabbit will come into your life later on as well. So I felt like people are shortchanged from that. And yeah, that's the only correlation I kind of found, and I assumed that there would be some connection with people when looking at the dream spell system, because it does happen to appear within the childhood placement and the true Maya calendar. But now, looking at today's date, it's completely off, because there is basically no correlation at all. Like the day sign does not coincide with the calendar anymore. It just does not. Let me go back to the 15th December. Because I don't see crocodile or whatever, red dragon, whatever you want to call it. I don't see it in the childhood placement of the owl sign. What I do see in the childhood placement is the sign of rabbit. Okay. And if you remember, going back to April 25th, 1993, the galactic tone was the same. It was 13, so there was a connection there, at least. It was the same, but you can definitely tell that they either skip some days, jump some days, or they're messing around with the dates. So that's a whole nother reason for to keep me even more concerned about people who using that calendar. I mean, the Tzolkin calendar, they keep the same sequence of days on and on and on. Let me go back to today. So if you want to learn about Mayan astrology, the website to go to is mymayansign.com. Okay? See that right there? mymayansign.com. I'm going to link it on the in the description of this video. And these are the two apps I was looking at. One is the Tzolkin Explorer. The other one is 1320. This is a fake calendar, and the Maya elders do not approve of this calendar. It's just honestly popular. I'm going through the dates, by the way. 18th, 19th, 20th December. This calendar is unfortunately just really, really popular, And the thing is, I don't want to say white folks, but it just happened to be some white folks. And they're just known for doing this quite a lot. But it's not so much about them, more so what they've done. Okay, what these particular people have done. what Jose, whatever his name is, did. He went to Guatemala or places like that, learned from the elders, came back, and basically, I think him and a colleague of his decided to recreate the calendar. And it's kind of like, when you patent something, you get to say it's your shit, which is, if it's not broken, why fix it? That kind of scenario. What is broken? And he used the reasoning that he just wanted to make a calendar that was more in line with, the minds of Western people. Well, and my argument against that would be, no, you don't have to fix the calendar. You just gotta fix your mentality. And if they can't handle, if their mentality is so far off from being able to even handle a simple calendar like this, then maybe they ain't ready for it. You know what I mean? Because you've just spiritually retarded people to a different stage of their life, to their childhood stage, or giving them a completely wrong sign. You know what I mean? And the mind themselves, they don't change their calendar. They don't add or take away. And there are some Mayan, let's say, communities that may have they may say, because some of them have the first day sign as crocodile, and some of them say that monkey is the first day sign, but they still maintain the same sequence of days. If today is 3 Jaguar, it's 3 Jaguar across the board. It's kind of like saying Monday is the first day of the week, and other people say, nah, Sunday is the first day of the week, but they all know that Sunday is Sunday. Friday the 24th is still going to be Friday the 24th. You don't have that level of internal confusion. It's only when some blue-eyed outsiders came across and thought that they were smarter than the locals and the traditionalists, they decided to change it. And for people who say, well, if it still works, it works. I mean, hold up. You gotta have some respect for ancient traditional wisdom. Let me get off this page. You gotta have some respect for ancient traditional wisdom, because this calendar has been in effect for like eons, thousands of years. Now, I mean, this is beyond just let's change it. And don't also forget, you're also fucking with time. It's not like, well, I'm gonna venerate this deity in a certain way, and maybe someone else will do it in a certain way. Now, I mean, like, this is a bit more. There's a certain level of uh, quantification that goes on here. There's a certain level of, you know, not going past certain boundaries when it comes to fucking with calendars and time, because you end up wrecking a whole system. And as much as some folks may love the philosophy behind the 1320 moon calendar, whatever, it's still fake. Now, you can still have a 1320 type calendar or cycle, but you don't need to validate that with Mayan days to make it pop. You know what I mean? Because there's a psychology, or there's some people who say, well, the rhythm of the 1320 calendar is more in sync with nature, yada yada yada. And I don't even know how y'all came to that conclusion. To be honest, that to me still sounds like fucking made up. Because who says? Because I don't want to go too far. But if that works for you, it's cool. But you don't need to justify that a 13 whatever moon calendar is working by using traditional Maya day signs that have a certain sequence and breaking them out of their natural sequence to fit your particular worldview that you are trying to push, that is not based on tradition, that is not based on the true understanding of these signs. And there's stuff about these day signs that only the Maya know and folks don't know. Because y'all are not with the origins of this shit. The Maya are with the origins of this shit. You just can't come around and start changing it. You know what I mean? So this is a more complex issue than people are even, aware of. And it's the thing about it is, most people, it's not even their fault. They never, well, when they were introduced to this, they were introduced to this based on the Dreamspell system, and that's all they knew. Or they just did not do enough research to dig deeper and understand the differences between the two different calendars and the nuances that they carry. You know what I mean? And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Let me see if I can. I don't want to say too much about that. I've made a lot of videos about this issue. Um, Something about this day sign and Trikana, by the way, just attracts me. Owl, Galactic Tone, A, Trikana sign, water. It just looks like a good combination of signs to me. By the way, the sign for owl is a sign for ancestral wisdom. It's a sign for um, contemplation. It's also the sign for the warrior. And I say contemplation because it's a good day to study. It's a good day to get in touch with wisdom and knowledge from time immemorial. That's why it's tied to ancestral wisdom and revering ancestors. So what a day for me to make this video. I mean, because there is a, it's almost like disrespecting ancestors when you come around and you start fucking around with a system like this, you know, because there's just no reason other than clout. There is no reason other than clout or making a name for yourself to change this calendar, and that's what people have done. As for clout, what they did is the equivalent of taking Egyptian text and Emerald text and turning that into another fucking Bible to dumb down people's minds. That's what they did with the calendar, with, with taking the Tzolkin and turning it into a Dreamspell calendar. That's exactly what happened. And now you can say it works for me. Well, fine, but it works for you based on the ceiling of your intelligence and the ceiling of what you are aware of. And it fucks shit. Anything can work for you. You can eat food with a toothpick, you know, but it may be a bit more slow to eat that way, but you can make it work, right? But things kind of work based on the ceiling of your expectations or the ceiling of your intelligence. When I show people the tree of life system, excuse me, and how significant it is and just how much more information you can pull that is practical for your life and assessing your, let's say, energetic or spiritual configuration and the different themes that will pop up in different areas of your life, in different times of your life, there is just so much more to dig, so much more to get into than this shit. This shit. And there's not even a, actually, you know what, let me not go into this too much. I'm gonna start ranting more than I have not even started my rants, by the way. I've not even started. But anyway, y'all get the point. So yeah, the day sign owl, also the sign for warriors, also a sign for people who are well, this energy basically is really good at how do I put it? People who are very acquainted with issues that are in their community, and they're good at um, being able to articulate those things. Uh, Dave Chappelle is born on the day of the owl. Chris Rock is born on the day of the owl. So these people can be very intelligent and socially aware comedians. Know what I mean? And if you go on this site, they have a whole explanation of what this means. Now, Shib is a Yucatan word. Ajmak is a Kishi word. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Yucatan versus Quiche translations around this kind of material. But yeah, the water sign has its own explanation. The tone has its own explanation. On this site, there is no tree of life explanation that is in depth, um, unless you actually pay for a report, which you can. And I definitely suggest you do support the guy who made it. Faith has done a great job at making this site and making it work. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of information too, and these are reviews, by the way. I'm basically giving this guy a free promotion, but he deserves it because he's like the only site I've seen that's providing the true calendar system. It's sad, but sometimes valuable information is like hard to find because I don't want to say that you got to be worthy to get it, but you got to knock on the door long enough if you really want this shit. And some people apparently do not knock on the door long enough to get this information. But I'm just bringing it to you on a plate. You didn't really need to watch this whole video. You just needed to hear me say my MayanSign.com, and then you come here and you start doing your research. Okay. Not much else to say. Let me see if I should. I wanted to go into this whole tree of life thing. I do actually like to get Mayan sign, charts of different stars, athletes, whatever. It's kind of fun. I do it in my pastime. But here's a quick graphic. I may do another video about this, maybe not. But here's a quick graphic about the tree of life and how it works. You got the youth, adult, elder signs. You can also say childhood era, uh, youth era, because I feel like adulthood is still your youth. depending on your cultural perspective. The elder or mature sign, that's at the very bottom. You have the heart, which is, the heart of your tree of life. And the tree of life is also called a destiny chart in some books as well. Again, masculine signs, right hand power, feminine signs, left hand power, and down straight in the middle, you got your core signs. And the core signs are, I think it's pretty self explanatory when you think about the relation between feminine and masculine powers, and, you in the middle, and it's more about your personal relationship to yourself, or your more, could I say unbiased expressions of self, because it's neither leaning here nor there. It's just simply who you are at heart. You know, I apologize if my voice is fading a little bit. Happens when I talk too much. But yeah, this is the tree of life, and you can screenshot this and work with it. You know, I like doing different signs for different celebs and stuff like that. Ryan Coogler, Lupita Nyong'o, Anthony Mackie. Let's see if I got Dave Chappelle around here. I kind of did his long time ago. I got him over here, Dave Chappelle. Actually, this video is being shot in this format, so let me stick to it this way. So, like I said, he's an owl sign. So, wise man talking. Road sign involves, sometimes travel or an interest in humanity, or I don't want to, because when I start explaining these things, it's like a whole nother video it turns into. So nah, I don't want to go too deep. And this is his tree of life. You know what I mean? This is his tree of life. And yeah, so definitely a lot of stuff, a lot more information to pull from this kind of, material that unfortunately is not in the Dreamspell, the fake calendar. This is fake, 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 fake. And I paid like $6 for this. I'm in Canada, so I'm talking $6 Canadian, but I'm paying, $6 for this. So 13 moon, they say here, is the harmonic standard of cosmology for the classic Mayan calendar. They call it classic, but it's not really. It's their shit. They just reinvented this shit. It doesn't really follow the, you know, what's they do in Mayan societies and stuff. So they have the Tzolkin over here, and they do have a lot of other stuff. Anything that really matters, you will find in the traditional Mayan system. And they have, because here's the thing, because they don't have a tree of life, they have to reinvent their quote unquote destiny oracle. But application wise, there's not too much you can pull out of. Let's see what it says here. This is the energy that gives you inspiration and puts you on your path. The more you follow its teaching, the more you can connect with your own sign and develop its potentials. This is the guide kin. So basically what it's telling you that your day sign does not have enough ideas for you. You need to connect with the other sign, which is not bad, but like when you this is like an excuse for not being able to truly connect with your own sign enough. You know what I'm saying? Like there should be enough substantial information within your own day sign, but let me not be too critical. I'm probably being a little bit of an ass right now. Analog sign supports you with is the energy that supports you, which you're familiar with. You find a lot of its potential already within yourself. You develop its energy and connect yourself with it. The more you open to the possibility of your deeper potentials, it shows your light and helps you to increase it. The best friend that walks by your path on your side, ready to extend a supportive hand to you at every turn and obstacle. Like I need a bit more than this. Antipode is the energy that is directly opposite to yours within the circle of the 20 solar seals. This is the most applicable or sensible thing with regard to the Destiny Oracle. It's the hardest energy for you to connect with, potentially, and that's more applicable. That's more, concrete. You can kind of see why, and yeah, you can kind of see why this is the case. Occultkin is the almost unconscious energy potential that you carry in order to manifest your day sign. It's an innate wisdom and medicine that you have from birth that is necessary in order to manifest truly and fully who you are. If it's unconscious, then I guess there's nothing for you to do with that because it is unconscious and it's supposed to be automatic. But whatever. If it makes sense to you, you can, ride with that. Oh, that's the end. Anyway, I don't like fake. I don't like this is plagiarism. They could have just invented their own system with their own days if they wanted to, but this is plagiarism in my books. There is I'm pretty sure they kind of do explain that. Oh, and they go into a whole lot of other stuff that's not even in the Maya system. Which again, you could have just used or put all this thing out, but without using the guides or without sitting on the credibility of the Maya systems just to push your own system on top of that. You know what I mean? Like the Maya calendar shit does not need to be an envelope for your personal, whatever you got concocting your imagination to put out to people. Like you can put this stuff out. You don't gotta put it within the envelope of the Maya system and say it's the Maya system because it's not. Anyway, learn more. They got all these websites, and all these sites are based off of Dreamspell stuff. None of them is based on the true, you know, the true Mayan calendar. And this guy Jose Arguelles is the one who spearheaded this adulteration of a calendar. It's him. He started this shit. Okay, so y'all should know where it's coming from. There was a disclaimer somewhere where they said that there is a difference between the dream spell and the Mayan calendar, but I don't know if it's here. Yeah, this is stuff about how to use the app and stuff like that. Anyway, it gets kind of don't allow. It gets kind of it goes into its own thing in its own way. But I just wanted to show what's this one for 279. Whatever. So y'all already know what I'm talking about. Okay. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know what's up. Uh and like you know what? I'm gonna just stop here. This should probably be the screenshot for this video. Let me see if I can screenshot it right now. Probably should be the face of this video. I'm gonna stick with the ancient ones. I'm gonna stick it with the OGs. You know, they're realistic, pragmatic. Well, not that they're whatever. I'm getting a little bit, ahead of myself, but I'm gonna stick with the owls. With the what the ancestors said, and I'm gonna trust that the ancestors knew what they were doing when they created the system, and it works just fine for me. Alright, I don't know if this video is gonna help somebody. I don't know if this video even helps anyone. I just felt like making it, so I did. You know, and I guess sometimes I could, kind of do a bit better with my explanation and stuff because I do kind of get all over the place. But uh, this is my work. Like if you like,